I'm not gonna lie, I'm stressing out a bit. I have so much left to do, and this is my last week to do it. After this week, I need to start making 2 videos a week for this other company. So I have so much to do. And by the way, do you hear that beeping sound right now? You hear that beeping sound? So I have a huge question about this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. See this? It's 97 degrees inside the cabinet right now. And that is, I mean, and the problem is with the chiller, right? Like that's pretty hot. I feel like 97's okay, but am I kidding myself? Like, is this really bad for the chiller? I know, like, my air conditioner outside runs in 110, so I'm like, but so now I'm nervous after all this install work I did. Is it not going to be enough? Not only that, but over here on a totally different note, I have to get this set up. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to set up a new tank when I'm making 2 videos a week. There's just no way. And now I have all the corals that I need to move and into the new Frag tank, but the new Frag tank doesn't have anything in it. Doesn't have any biological filtration. So I have some of these like marine pure bio balls. So I got to set that up. I also don't have a Frag rack. So I'm going to make an egg crate Frag rack. And is that it? Oh, and my anemones just split, like legit just split. And so I have no idea if it's split because it's happy or not happy. Like, I've been staring at it, and I'm like, the anemones look fine, but the last time I had these splitting incidents, it was because the anemones were doing poorly, and then they all started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and dying. So there's just a lot to do, but as every week, let's just tackle things one at a time. I thought I had this all planned out. See the Frag rack in there? It's like a custom-made Frag rack. It's 2 feet long. At least that's what I think it is. 23 inches. And I was like, okay, so I thought I bought the perfect tank for it. But look at this. It's 23 inches long. It's 22 inches. So I just wasn't thinking because, of course, this is 2 feet long. That is 2 feet long on the outside. So I'm going to make something. Here's my latest and greatest creation. Check this bad boy out, huh? I made this for the Innovative Marine... No, the Fluval tank, and I used this thing for years, and it worked great. It was my little custom media rack. You know, I put a sponge and custom... Anyway, it worked great. But what we're going to do today is I have a whole bunch of black egg crate from Bulk Reef Supply, and I am going to measure and make this using these as feet. I'm going to drill holes, and we're going to make this into a custom Frag rack and then hopefully move the majority of these corals over. I actually think it turned out pretty good. Oh, break everything these days. All right, so what I've learned in the past from doing these little egg crate things, I've made a few of them now, and you know, they're fine, PVC cutter here, but I have found I cut myself, look at this, constantly on these sharp edges. So what I did on this one is, this is where all the cuts were, right here, see this, right here? I sanded it down, and now even the edges are sanded, so I think this is gonna fit perfectly in the new 25-gallon Lagoon tank. So let's go put that in, and then we need to not only move over the corals, but the majority of the corals, maybe not all of them, but the majority of the corals, but I've also noticed a ton of Aiptasia, some nuisance algae, some bubble algae, and I want to scrape off and inspect as much as I can, knowing that for the Aiptasia, I'm just going to get like a peppermint shrimp in the future and let that do the rest. But I want to get the most obvious things because I just don't want to introduce a ton into the new tank. So let's get going on that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, in case you're wondering, I left a 2-inch gap on this side. So it should be relatively flush on this side and the back and the front, but I wanted to leave a 2-inch gap because I am gonna put some fish in there and they're gonna need some way to get underneath and so on and so forth. I also put the gap on the right-hand side so that when my MP10 blows this pattern, it will, all the large detritus will collect most likely right underneath the MP10 so that I can fit some sort of small gravel vac in there to clean it out. All right, let's go. I gotta pause for just a second because this little clownfish keeps biting me and it's super obnoxious, so I'm gonna catch him real quick because it's not painful, but it's frightening enough. Let me show you. Okay, watch, ready? Here we go. I'm sacrificing myself for film. Look at him, look at him. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can do a good angle here. Ready? He's like an attack dog. You gonna do it? You gonna do it? Ready? Look at him. Ow! Okay, it's totally empty except for this, what do you call this? I can't remember. Xanthelia? Is it Anthelia, maybe? It's empty. There's the guy who keeps biting me. Oh. But they're all over here. But I realized, take a peek, right? They're all here, all these buckets. But I realized that this isn't quite ready yet because I need to do a par test because my goal for this tank is to have between like maximum of 150 to like 100 in the corners, and I've never par tested these Maxspect JB, whatever they're called, lights. I know they put out enough par because I've done a par test on them generally, but I don't know for this tank. So I need to par test that first. And then I realized that I don't have any biological filtration. So I do have these marine pure bio balls, but I think what I want to do is, as long as these aren't too disgusting, I have a bag of marine pure bio balls in here. Let me show you, right in here. Oh, I guess I have this, not the bio balls. I have, anyway, that'll work too. Pond, whatever you call that, pond matrix. Oh, now down here, here's where I have it, see? I got those. So I think I'll rinse those out because those are full of beneficial bacteria, and then I'll put those in the back. And then I want to go through each one of these individually, clean them off, frag where necessary, and put on new frag plugs before I move them into there. Because even though they're going into there, that's not their permanent home. The majority of them are going to end up in the JBJ45 mixed reef tank. But let's get started testing the par, getting this set up, and then we'll go frag by frag, cleaning and fragging and making sure they're ready for their new home. my daughter call out the numbers, and I think I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. The biggest hotspot was obviously right in the center, and it was like 190, which is too much, but I can put my SPS there. And then like the far corners were like 100, and then the front center was like 130, back center 130. So I think I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. And there's two apps here. I think it's the Cloud app. I mean, this is a good light for the price. The Synergy app, it's quite inexpensive. Okay, so we go here to the jump. Now here's what I have it on. Let's see. I have it at 60%, it looks like. 60% for a few hours. So I'm going to change that, but I'm going to do that off camera just because it's so much easier, and then I'll show you the result. Okay, I adjusted it, and then we tried it one more time, but here's the schedule. Okay, we have sunrise, 7 a.m., 7 a.m. sunrise, 0% everything. Then at 11 a.m., it's a ramp to 11 a.m., and the colors are there. 55% for the blues, and the reds and the greens and the whites are 9%. That stays from 11 o'clock until 4 o'clock, so it's a 5-hour full photo period, but it's getting quite a bit of light on the ramp up. Same thing there, colors, 55% blues, whites, reds, greens, 9%, and then it ramps down all the way to 9 p.m., which is the same as the other tanks. So all that means for me is I need to put the lowest light corals around the outside and the most needy highlight corals, my SPS and others, in the center. This is a total cluster, everybody. I get that. And I've tested the par. I'm going to move the bio balls over right now. But here's what I got. I got all of the corals in these here. And then I got some rinsing stations back here. You can't even see it. I have all my frag stuff. And then I have all sorts of different brushes so we can go through. All I'm going to do is, this is going to be largely a time lapse, but I'll pause it in the video every time I show you a coral so you can at least have a good look at the coral. Remember though, the coral's under the white light, it's not under the blue light, so the colors aren't going to pop, but I want you to have a good look. But other than that, it's going to be time lapse, coral, time lapse, and then I'll show you the finished product once it's in the Lagoon tanks. Let's go. Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. You know, I'm gonna zoom in here. Every time I do this, I always get a comment. They're like, dude, I love your videos. They're always really nice about it, but it's too close on your face. But sometimes I like being close, because look, when you're this close, it kind of makes the background a little bit blurry, and I can be very serious, but maybe I won't go that close for you guys. Day 2, everybody. Yesterday, we got all the frags moved over and cleaned, and a couple things refragged, and I'm looking at the tank, which I'll show you guys in a second. I have a few things left to do before this new job begins, and that includes a big cleanup of the now quarantine tank. I want to go ahead and clean it up as best I can. I have a couple fish I want to move. I know I want to move like the 6-line wrasse over to the new frag tank. I have a shrimp goby over here that's going to go to the seahorse tank because there's already a pistol shrimp over there. So I want to take care of all of that. And then the big thing I still have to do is here. I would like to get water into the 45-gallon mixed reef tank. And in order to do that, I need to do the aquascape. But the aquascape this time should be really easy because I went ahead and bought this Carib Sea product. It was like the Carib Sea reef tree, or it's something like that. It might be called the reef tree. Anyway, I bought like this reef tree that I can just put together with like this long pole, and then I also bought some pre-made arches of different sizes. Bought some small arches and some big arches. So I'm not going to have to do a lot of work. Just visually put stuff together, get it in there, get the sand in there, fill it with water, and hopefully get the cycle started. That's that's really all I need to do before I get started. But let me show you how the frag tank looks this morning, because it actually looks pretty good. Wait. I keep forgetting to show you guys this. Okay, I bought 3 new lights, and these lights are awesome. I bought 2 for over by the frag tank, and then I bought 1 I wanted to try out over here for the quarantine tank. So these are plug-in lights. I'm sick of the battery lights that I'm always having to charge up. So let me see here. I think it's, I have this remote. Let's see if you guys can see it, okay? Hold on, let's see. Here we go, ready? Okay, give me a sec. I gotta make this room dark, and then we'll show you. Okay, the room's super dark, so let me show you. Here you go. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, ready? I'm gonna turn it off. It's off. Now it's on. And you can do like all these different color settings, so I can just go like red, green, blue, right? But I like this one where you have the mode. You can have like flashing mode, or like this mode where like just go slowly. You can go faster. You can set it up so you can go like, let's see. We can go through the colors faster. See that? But isn't that cool? And I also put similar lights over behind my 2 other tanks, and let me show you those. They turned out really cool. Okay, you ready? You can't even see the lights. They're like, these are 2-foot long tanks, but the lights are like 16 inches, so it's perfect. Okay, here we go. Let's turn it on. Ready? Ooh, I got 2 on. What? How amazing is that? These are actually different lights, and these lights are actually like outdoor lights. They're waterproof. They're only like 20-some bucks a piece, and they're meant to like highlight your house. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try them out, and oh my goodness, they are like perfect for this corner. I mean, it's the same thing. Like I can change them to like red, green, blue. There's different oh, you can do white if you just want a white. You can go, you know, less intensity, so you can turn them down. So you can have more mood lighting. And then it has like timers, 2-hour, 4-hour timers. But then it has these, oh, sorry, I gotta do them both. There's 2 there. You can go like flashing back and forth, or you have this like smooth one, but you can like control the speed. So you can like, if you want to have like, you know, some sort of crazy dance party, you can, which that's gonna give me a seizure. Or you can slow it down so that it's super slow and gentle. In here, let me show you the lights. Actually, they're super cool. Okay, here they are. Here they are. Here they are. This is them. There's just these metal. Oh, sorry. Let me get the ISO up here so you can see better. There's just these little metal lights. Okay, you can mount them. There's different ways to mount them, like on the outside of a house. And there's just these few LEDs. But they're waterproof, which is amazing. And all I'm doing is I'm taking them and I'm just leaning them up against the back like that. And I'm doing it on both. And it gives like perfect mood lighting for these tanks. So they're awesome. I'm not trying to sell these. They're only like 20-some bucks a piece, maybe 30 bucks. So I'll put a link below if you guys are interested in them. But these are cool. But I had to use a different light over here. Let me show you. Hey, check out this one. This one's different. I can't take this one off, but this one is a 2-foot light bar, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit so you can see it. It just came with some sticky tape. You can also like metal mount it as well, but this one I like it because it's super duper narrow, and you can just glue it to the back of your tank. And I think this one's like 30 bucks or 20 bucks. And I have this plugged in as well. I don't want the battery power one. So I have plugged in, and I like it so much that I went ahead and bought 2 more, so I can put one behind each tank to kind of give some cool mood lighting. So that's going to make this pop once I get everything else done. But that's besides the point. Let me guys show you the frag tank. The whole reason I even started talking about this. Okay, here she is in all her glory. Super simple. It's a 25-gallon Innovative Marine Lagoon tank. So that means it's 2 feet wide, and it's only a foot tall, I think. It's, 12 inches tall, but then it goes deeper. So you get this really kind of nice footprint. I'm using the Maxspect Jump LED light, and I have it set for only 50%, basically, 55%. And that's giving me, down at the frag rack level, which is 4 inches above the ground, 4 inches above the ground, above the bottom, that's giving me par ranges of, in the corners, a little bit below 100, maybe 80s, maybe in the far corners as low as 50 to around 150, 170 in the middle. Custom made frag rack, obviously, I showed you guys yesterday when I made that video. Just some pieces of PVC with some black egg crepe. And then I added in here the MP10 that I've had for 7 years now, which is fantastic. I had this on my other tank. I have it set super high and towards the front, right? So I'm trying to keep it away from all of my euphyllia in the back, trying to encourage them to come out. And then I set up my corals, at least I try to set up the corals in a way, sorry, one sec, where I put the things that need lower light. So like over here, I have like the zoas in the back. And then I put in the center, right over the middle, the only SPS frags I have. I have the bird nest and this random green thing that was in my other tank. I have no idea. But then around the corners, I put everything else. Now, I'm not sure if this is right because, like, you know, these acans can probably go under 150. All the euphyllia can probably go under 150. So I might end up just, you know, moving them a little bit closer. And then the only other thing I did in this tank, I mean, this is a super simple frag setup, is you can see in the back here, I added all of these marine pier bio balls. And I did buy new marine pier bio balls, but then the tank wouldn't have been cycled. So I went ahead and went over to this tank, which is super orange. Sorry about that. And I grabbed them out of here. And that worked fine. I think that's going to work fine. They were totally clean. I took them out. I gave them I gave them a little shake in the water. And that should help this tank basically cycle almost immediately. I'm going to have to test this tank, obviously, just to make sure. But that's it. If you guys want to do something like this, it's an awesome, I mean, this is an awesome little frag setup. I mean, it's not a huge frag tank, right? But, you know, this innovative marine tank, which is super nice and comes with the rear filtration. It's only like $350. This Maxspect jump light, which is a good size for this, is like $250 with everything. So really, this is just a really cool frag tank setup. So let me just show you guys some pictures, and then we'll get to work on today's projects. Okay, I cut them all, so let's talk through everything. In here, we got the emerald crab and the 6-line wrasse, which has been with me forever. I think the 6-line wrasse will do well in the new frag tank, and the emerald crab will probably do okay in the macro algae tank, I think. So that's that move. Then we got a little bitty shrimp goby, and the shrimp goby is going to be temperature acclimated quickly into the macroalgae seahorse tank because there's already a pistol shrimp in there. And then the majority here, got my 2 clownfish, that little one who bit me yesterday. I'm going to move the 2 clowns into the frag tank. And then I believe I'm going to move the 2 hawkfish into the anemone tank. I think I'm going to leave the blue damsel in the newly cleaned 40-gallon quarantine tank. And that leaves the 1 cleaner wrasse, which I will move over to the new frag tank to help keep things clean. So let's move them. Day project on the books. It's 3 o'clock, which means I'm working from what, like 7 to 3 with a 20-minute lunch break. But I did everything I set out to accomplish today, and the only thing that's left for next week's video, not this week's video, because I got too much already for this week's video, is the JBJ RF45, I think it's called. It's the 45-gallon mixed reef tank. Next week, we will set that up. I'll actually probably set it up like tomorrow, but you're not going to see it for a week. I'm going to show you everything I accomplished today, starting over here with the new Lagoon tank, moving the fishes over, and then, of course, with the newly cleaned and quarantine-ready 40-gallon breeder tank. There she is in all her glory. I have cleaned this tank so many times, but it is finally where I want it to be, which is a quarantine tank for fish. Now, it's not perfect yet, mind you, because if you look inside, there are things like snails and a conch, and I eventually have to move those out if I'm ever going to use medication. But to be honest, I really don't ever use medications that are going to kill off any snails. I stay away from the copper-based, and I typically stay away from antibiotics as well. I like to use more naturopathic, and if they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. What I did, though, starting out at the top, is the Maxspect razor lights. I turn these way down. I think I turned them down to a max of 35%, and that's dark. I mean, look here, ready? Look here. Look how much brighter that is. Look how much brighter that is. But I don't need it to be on high and just causing a ton of algae growth. So we just turn that down, and that's going to be fine. Inside here, I went ahead and I scrubbed everything. Scrub, pulled everything out. And now this is just a frag rack, which I'm not really going to keep frags on. And then I have a whole bunch of tubes underneath. And this is just hiding places for the future fish. The only livestock in here right now are a whole bunch of snails and a couple conches. Over here, I just changed out, so now I only have the Reef Breeders RP-M Wave Maker. And then over here, the big changes. I mean, big changes, right? I got rid of my refugium. Let me see if I can get a little bit more light in here for you. I got rid of the refugium right over here. It used to be over here. I pulled the light off. And really, because if I am going to use any sort of medications, first, it's probably going to kill it off. Secondly, there's not going to be any sort of nitrate or phosphate in this tank, at least until I add fish to it. So really, there would be no nutrients for the macroalgae anyway. There's still quite a bit down there. There's still like the miracle mud, and I have some rubble rock down there, so there's still quite a few pods down there. The only other thing that I did down here, did I do anything down here? No, I cleaned it up. And you can see the light in the background. It's kind of cool. It just keeps going. Just keeps rotating colors, which is fun. But that's this tank. That's tank number 1. This is now ready. This is exactly where I wanted it to be, and this is ready for fish. A fish-only quarantine tank. But let's go take a peek at tank number 2 we worked on. And the second big project for the day was to make sure the Lagoon tank was not only done and ready to move some of the corals around as need be, and also to add the fish in here. So I added into here a few fish. I added in the 2 clownfish, including the little guy that likes to bite me. I added in the sapphire damsel, and if you can see him or her, I added the fish that's been with me really for the longest amount of time. There she is. See her? 6-line wrasse has chosen that corner. And then I have also added the Hawaiian skunk cleaner shrimp over there. That's it. That's all I did. But this tank is, I'm going to have to watch it just a little bit because now it has a little bit of a bio load, and I added in here, remember, the biomedia. So I'm going to have to watch. I don't think that's going to be enough. I mean, honestly, there's not much bio load with just the corals over here, but when you add the fish in there, it's definitely going to be more of a bio load. So I'm going to have to watch that, watch for algae growth. But that's it. We're done. Tune in next Tuesday for what's probably going to be the last Tuesday video for a little while, because as soon as I finish this last big project, which is a huge project to get the new 45-gallon tank up and going, I am then turning all of my focus to 2 videos a week of beginner content with this other company, which I have yet to announce. But stay tuned, I will be announcing that quite soon. And everybody, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate all of you who interact with me, who chat with me, who help me learn and grow in this hobby. I've learned more from you guys than I'm sure you have learned from me. So thank you for sticking with me through this transition period, and I couldn't do any of this without all of you. With all that being said, take care, everybody. Happy reefing. We'll see you next time. Have a good week.